how's your route going?
You know, same old, same old.
Oh, why so glum?
Lost my other job yesterday.
The Zamboni driver? Man, you love that job.
I did, but I ran over the mascot. Yeah, apparently gets free reign of the rink during halftime, so nobody told me.
Well, that sucks. But hey, you know what's a good stress relief?
What's that?
You ever tried the Game of Thrones drinking game?
No, what's that?
Yeah, every time they say winter is coming, you just take a drink.
Silly summer child, winter is coming and all you got is loads of short britches.
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
What I do know is my winter is coming all over you.
What?
You fucking twats, don't you know winter is coming?
With my new title, Mother Superior Dragon Lady, my dragons will burn your armies to the ground.
Not while winter is coming.
I will murder your entire family. And by the way, winter is coming. When? When is winter coming?
Anyway, you know, I was saving up to get a car, and my parents are talking about cutting me off.
Oh gosh, our parents have no idea how hard it is. Waking up, delivering newspapers, going home, playing video games, and then waiting for dinner. God, they have no idea how hard it is.
Seriously, and all I wanted was like 30,000, maybe 35. You know, those new Tesla 3s are coming out, and I thought it'd be nice to have one. You know, and it's nothing crazy. It's not like a Lamborghini or Ferrari or totally reasonable. And then she starts going off about how my sister's getting married, my brother's in DC, and with that and my dad's heart problems that I guess, I don't know, she can't take care of me anymore or something. It doesn't even make sense.
Well, hey, you can help me finish up my route. Lord knows this sucks.
So I've been looking for a new job, but honestly, I think my employment history is messing me up. You know, I was at gas station attendant at that gas station until nobody came in. And then I was at cashier over at Pizza Dome, but you know, then we were robbed and I gave over my whole register. And then you remember me bussing tables at Franco's until I slept with Frank's wife. And of course, you know, he fired me, so.
Yeah, the nerve of that guy. Not letting you sleep with his wife. Anything interesting?
Wow, have you seen the article on the front page?
Oh yeah, Trump eats his own sausage fingers. That's in print. It has to be true. But you know what? I'm gonna look it up on my BlackBerry on Lycos.
Yeah, you can't trust everything you read.
All right, man, this thing's awesome. Huh, that's strange. Lycos just has all these ads popping up for the new iPhone SE. I bet that new iPhone SE only has 16 megabytes of memory.
Hey, dipshit, get a real job.
Oh, right, the baby maker.
Oh, that reminds me of that scene in Casino Royale where Bond's getting tortured and Lashif's just crushing his balls with that rope. Took it like a champ.
Oh, man. I mean, do you think MI6 really trains for that? I mean, how do you train for ball smashing anyway? Oh, it hurts. I mean, could you see Judi Dench, flatten Bond's sack with a fly swatter or something? I mean, do they beat their agents' dicks all day? Or maybe they have them sit on a bear trap or something.
I hope not, but I see what you mean about that scene. But come on, he's Bond.
All right, Mr. Bond. You must tell me the password.
Do your worst. You've been subjected to every torture known to. Tickle the other side. Just puked on my bits and pieces.
In time. Will you yield?
Yes! Yes, what do you want? Good God, man! Why are we so sweaty?
I don't know. This whole situation has got me pretty excited.
Excited how? Like roller coaster excited or first time looking at a Playboy excited?
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
I see. Hey, do you think MI6 neuters them or something when they get in the 00 program?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, Lashif would have seen that, though.
Yeah, I guess. Well, have you seen this?
What's that? Oh, all you can take in Rainbow Party. First place takes home $5K tonight? Whoa, $5K for a Rainbow Party? Man, that sounds awesome.
Wait, what's a rainbow party?
I don't know, but it's gotta be fun, right?
Let's do it. Well, that wasn't what I was expecting.
Well, we did get third place. And that's $40 more to the car fund.
Yay!
Hey, is that who I think it is? It's a man. It's a guy. It's.
Hey guys.
Oh, it's just Tom.
Oh, Tom, have you seen the new Batman v Superman movie yet? From Zack Snyder, director of Guardians of the Cahool?
I have not, but I did love Gahul.
Who doesn't?
We should go watch it in my parents' basement and talk about it.
Yeah, let's do that.
He is not our enemy. Black and blue. God versus man.
Hi, I'm Luke May. This is James Scanlon.
Hello?
And this is our guest, Tom O'Neill. And this is our first episode of Paper Routes on the Luddite Millennials. So we're here to talk to you about Man of Steel 2, basically. Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. Now that's pretty much a mouthful.
Quite a mouthful,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. First off, are you guys for Batman or Superman?
I definitely lean more towards Batman. His outlook on the world is much more reflective of the way that I see things. Also, he looks cooler to me, which is always kind of a deciding factor. I will say that Man of Steel and this movie did make Superman seem a lot more interesting to me, though. Superman was always kind of like that Boy Scout character, you know? He flies around and he saves women from trees or something, and then he tells kids to eat their vegetables, and that's pretty much like how I always saw him. But these movies have like kind of opened him up a little bit more.
Yeah, definitely. Zack Snyder has really expanded on what Superman could actually be. And I will say about this movie, I'm a little bit biased because I'm more of a Superman guy. Although Batman was freaking amazing in this.
Yeah.
As far as like an on-screen Batman, it was probably more Frank Millerish, but yeah, I was more for Superman. I wanted him to throw down, which a lot of what happened in the movie is what I pretty much expected what would happen. And
I thought I would be more Superman going in because we know the Superman more. We had a full movie of developing him, getting to know him, and then you have Batman, a new Batman who you have never seen before, a completely different Batman actually, with motivations and the way he's done. And yet I still was rooting for Batman more.
So let's just talk about real quick how we actually felt about the movie. Like I said, I'm a little bit biased. I like Zack Snyder's work, except for the Guardians of the Cahool.
What about Sucker Punch?
Oh God!
That's right. He did Sucker Punch.
And that's another thing with Zack Snyder. He makes a lot of movies. Like I feel like when he's filming them, he's like, "This would be great in the trailer." He makes great trailers.
His trailers are incredible.
They are the
Dude,
best.
the Watchmen trailer.
Oh.
With the Smashing Pumpkins song.
And when I first saw that, I thought it was Alex Ross's Kingdom Come, because I actually had not read The Watchmen before seeing it. So overall, I actually enjoyed it. So what was kind of your honest opinion?
Honestly, it was very messy. It was very muddy. There's a lot crammed into a 2.5-hour movie. I think that it was a cash grab, personally. Like, they knew...
They're all cash grabs.
Agreed. But you can do a cash grab and still not suck ass. There's too many relationships that are very important in not only, even if you don't read the comics, there's too many relationships that are important to the storyline in general. For instance, Batman and Alfred. You really don't see them together very often. You know what I mean? And I think that what they should have done is...
It's not his movie, though.
What?
It's not his movie. It's Superman's movie.
He's in the title. What do you mean it's not his movie?
He's
in
Man
the
of Steel
title.
2.
50%.
It's called Batman vs Superman.
Well, yeah.
Dawn of Justice.
The greatest Supreme Court battle ever.
Yeah.
Presented by Bob Odenkirk.
What should have happened, in my opinion, is if they're going to take from Death of Superman and they're going to take from Dark Knight Returns, what they should have done is made Man of Steel 2 all about Another thing also is
Keep focused.
Lex Luthor is essentially Superman's Joker. Lex Luthor is the guy that is always...
He's his foil.
Right. Yeah. And in the comics, it's kind of... Sometimes when you read them, you understand where Lex Luthor is coming from. Like, he's like, here's an alien that can kill everybody if he really wanted to. He has unlimited power, and we need to keep him in check, and maybe even get rid of him, right? But Lex Luthor in this movie was just an absolute nutcase. Nutcase. He was pretty much just the Joker.
He's Lex Luthor's son.
Right.
Yeah.
He's Lex Luthor Jr.
Which
does make a difference because you have the preconceived notions of Lex Luthor coming in, but it's not him, it's a different character.
Jesse Eisenberg, that character that he played was very convincing.
Yeah.
I thought so.
Very good. Like, he did a really good job. The problem is that it was very Joker to me.
And what about you, James? What do you think of it?
Overall, I liked it. Obviously, it had some problems. Too many plot lines. Maybe not as fleshed out characters because they had so much and they were spreading them thin with the time that they had. And I'm sure they cut out a lot with there being a 3-hour director's cut that will come out on Blu-ray.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah. But the way I look at it is, have you guys ever seen Cloud Atlas? They have a lot of different storylines going on at the same time. The way they meld it does get messy, and the way I describe that movie is a beautiful disaster. That's kind of how I view this movie. It does so many things right. It looks great. It has so many scenes that work, and then you just have too much going on. Yeah. So overall,
it's definitely a Zack Snyder movie.
Yes, because Zack Snyder is very visual, and one of the things I was hoping would happen is, and rumors are that it kind of did happen. I feel like they brought in Ben Affleck to eventually do like a solo Batman movie, direct.
I think he's right.
Right.
But that's not till like 2021, I think.
No, they're not going to wait that long.
I don't think they can.
No. And Ben Affleck is a consistently great director, a great writer, and now he's a great actor. So I was thinking he wouldn't really be involved with this if he didn't get some input. Yeah. And maybe he can counteract Zack Snyder's weaknesses, which is really the storytelling aspect. That Watchmen is great. Everything is great with that movie because it's almost exactly like the comic book.
It really is, yeah.
And the other question I was going to ask you, who was the audience? Who was his audience? Because it wasn't an R-rated film. However, I thought it was darker than something like, say, Deadpool. You know what I mean? Like, Deadpool is a hard R, but this I couldn't see like showing like, hey, this is Batman and Superman. Kids.
Yeah, you wouldn't really take your kids. You know
but
The
Dark Knight was incredibly dark. This
That's
was darker
true.
than The Dark Knight, but it still had a target audience, and that was anyone over age 10. You know.
Yeah, and what I'm talking about with the darker parts of it is the imagery. Without getting into spoilers, there's some scenes where they're the imagination of somebody, but it was pretty dark. Like, even I was like, wow, a kid watching this would be like insane watching this.
They're gonna have some problems.
They might have some issues. Like, I would say 8 and up, maybe.
For this?
Yeah.
Well, I think a little bit older than that.
Yeah, I'd say let's go with the actual rating at 13 and up.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's definitely grim is a way to look at
Grim.
it. So you have movies like Thor, Iron Man, those Marvel movies. They're very bright,
cheery,
and
colorful.
Even when bad things happen, they have like palate cleanser moments. This movie just
like people just die and come back to life.
Yeah,
that never happens.
You know,
not
or
in
like
DC
somebody will
movies.
say something funny. This movie isn't
Quips
necessarily charming, which I don't have a problem with, considering my top 3 favorite comic book characters is the Punisher, and he's consistently not charming. So
he fills up all 3 spots.
Yeah, he at least 2 of them, at least 2 of the top 3, and so I don't really have a problem with like the tone, but at the same time, like if you're expecting this happy Marvel movie with like lots of jokes in there and like charming humor,
I
and stuff,
legitimately
Joss
laughed
Whedon
once.
humor.
Yeah, Joss Whedon kind of thing.
I didn't laugh at all. There's a couple points where I had a smile on my face or a smirk. They're not trying to be Marvel. They have to fill the other void. There's a void where it's dark and gritty comic books.
And that's where I appreciate what Zack Snyder was trying to do in this. Is that like it's a different type of comic book movie, and that's why probably I liked Watchmen so much, or even like 300 for that matter.
Yeah.
Because I appreciate what he was trying to do. He wasn't going for that campy. He was going for like just something kind of like hyper realism too in some aspect.
Yeah. So why do you think all the reviews, or most of the reviews, 3 out of 10 were positive on Rotten Tomatoes? So why is 7 out of 10 negative?
And I was thinking of that if we're looking at their direct competitor, Marvel, and what they're doing versus this, I think that is one thing to do it. But definitely the overall tone and what they did with some of the character choices they did was probably the biggest thing. Like, oh, he wouldn't do that.
Character assassination, basically.
Character assassination, pacing, and just the plot too. Like, especially in the third act plot. That's where I was like, oh, once I got to the third act, and we'll get into spoilers in a little bit, that's where I was like, oh, this is probably where the critics really
split,
like hated it.
Oh,
yeah. Your thoughts?
Accessibility could be a word to describe it. So Marvel is very like accessible to people, you know what I mean?
Even the bad ones.
Like, you don't read comic books, it doesn't matter. They're fun, you know, you can sit down and have fun and watch it, but this one is very like, you really got to pay attention because there's a lot going on. There's a lot of subplots, there's a lot of characters in it. I think that this movie was definitely, obviously they're jump-starting the Justice League movie.
The entire DCU.
Yeah, but they're like, clear! I thought Ben Affleck was good as the Batman.
I thought he was a definitive Batman, and I don't know, he's close to the definitive Bruce Wayne, but he was so menacing, and I didn't see Ben Affleck in that movie.
No.
At the very beginning, I did. That all washed away.
Yeah.
This is probably one of the best, if not the best, I think.
Batman?
I mean, if you take out like the rest of the story, like Batman,
Take out the whole movie. Just isolate,
Just as a show.
just isolate the Batman stuff. Like, I
So
was
it's about
like,
10 minutes?
I
loved about 20 minutes of this 2.5-hour movie.
But I think it really has to boil down to like the alpha male kind of deal. Like, he's got to prove himself, like who's stronger. Because this whole movie was about man versus God,
and power,
or gods versus man and power. That was the overall theme that I got out of it. And then a lot of it was the government versus like vigilante stuff like that too. So it's like
A couple different threads.
I like the philosophy of the movie.
Yeah.
Because it always, you know, like if you take Superman at face value, it's really boring. Here's a guy who can do anything he wants forever.
And he's
like,
perfect.
And he's perfect. He's beautiful. You know, he's tall, and he could steal your bitch, and
he gets to fuck
he has all these. He has an infinite amount of powers that just like pop up conveniently. Like, oh no, there's a fire. I have super wind breath, and I can turn back time, and it's really lame. But when you look at it from like a broader point of view of he's a god and he's living among us, and it's like who trusts him, who doesn't, and Zack Snyder touches pretty heavily on that, which is really good.
What it would be like living with a god in our own world, realistically.
Yeah.
Like, so things aren't going to be one-sided or black and white.
He is a deity, but he doesn't think of himself like a deity.
No, he's just a boy from Kansas.
And I think that's why I believe it should have been Man of Steel 2, and it should, all that stuff about God and power and restricting him could have been in there, and it would have been really cool, and then they could have built Lex Luthor's hatred for Superman a little bit more than just rushing it and being like, you just hate him now. And then, you know, the whole movie could have been Lex Luthor trying to figure out how to make something to beat Superman. I think that it would have been cooler if they touched on the philosophy of Superman being a god among humans, and because that's such a huge thing.
Yeah.
You could go on forever about that.
Yeah. And they're
So you
in a
can't
unique
just, like-
position where they can't explore that.
Right.
Because of the character.
This could have been, you know, Superman getting put on trial like he was, which was really cool.
Batman v Superman.
So obviously at this point, I think we'll get to into spoilers. If you don't want any spoilers, kind of skip this time frame. I got somewhere.
It's over here. Over here.
It's literally
No, it's over there.
It's
Just
on the
moved.
side. Yeah.
We don't have time for that.
It doesn't matter.
We don't have the money.
So we'll talk about Wonder Woman real quick. And before, I hadn't watched any reviews. I hadn't watched, the only trailer I saw was the original one, and then that one that, of course, had frickin' Doomsday. where I'm like, why would you put that in the film? That reminds me of like Terminator showing that John Connor, spoilers, is a robot.
Or go back to Terminator 2 where Arnold Schwarzenegger's a good guy.
Yeah. With Wonder Woman, I thought the way they presented her was great. How there was this weird shot where from like 1918 in her full Wonder Woman outfit.
I'm guessing she gave up on humanity after World War One.
Yeah,
is
but
that what it's saying?
In my mind,
so.
when I saw that 1918 picture with her and her full thing from 1918, I was like, it'd be almost like one of those conspiracy theory pictures where they're like time traveler from Comic-Con.
Keanu Reeves is immortal.
But I liked her. They didn't really give her much to do once she was in the actual battle, I guess.
Well, she held her own.
She did hold her own, yeah.
And she had a kick-ass sword and shield.
She did have a kick-ass sword and shield.
I'm not gonna say she.
Gal Gadot.
Yeah, she's not a bad Wonder Woman as far as like her abilities of acting, and like even in the fight scenes, it was convincing that she would know how to throw down like that. But I don't know, man. She just doesn't do it for me as far as Wonder Woman. Like I just feel like Wonder Woman to me is a bigger person. Like she's
Amazonian.
An Amazonian. Like I feel like she'd be
Futurama
eye
or
level
something?
with freaking Ben Affleck, and he's a giant too.
But she's not Amazonian. She's Greek.
Right. But whatever.
So she's like a Greek god.
And I just feel like she would be bigger.
Like body wise?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
like
I mean,
just
if
look,
you have,
that's your thing.
Look more intimidating.
But I mean, if you have powers, I mean, I guess it wouldn't really matter.
But to me, it's like it's all like the aesthetic of her doesn't do it for me.
So someone like a Ronda Rousey kind of.
Yeah, or
God, no.
if you guys saw Deadpool,
Have you seen her acting?
The one who plays Angel Dust.
Oh yeah, she was.
She would be an awesome Wonder Woman to me. I just felt like there was a lot shoehorned in. The problem is that they're trying to set up the Justice League in one movie.
Oh, and of course, there's one scene where she's looking on the computer, like all these files.
Yeah, that was a bit much.
That was, when I saw that, I'm like, oh my god, how much of this are they going to show? Because it took away from what was going on at the time.
Yeah, it was like right in the climax.
Yeah, it was right in the climax, and then they just got to like Wonder Woman looking at saved files of meta-humans, and it was just like found footage. And like, oh, here's the Flash. Here's Aquamomoa, what they're called.
I like that.
I like that nickname. I didn't create that, but people are calling him that. Aquamomoa.
No, take credit for it.
Yeah, copyright.
Yeah, that's ours now.
Yeah. So, and then of course, Cyborg. The part with Cyborg looked cheap as heck. It looked like one of our videos.
So I will say this about the Marvel Universe. They're great at giving you like the bare minimum of something to make you want it more later. End credit scenes, oh, you see Thor's hammer. Well, now we know Thor's coming. We don't know shit about him, but we know he's on his way. Because Batman opens the folder first, but he doesn't watch the videos. I think even just him opening the folder. What?
We don't know that he didn't watch them.
But we don't see it. That's my point.
We don't see it, but...
Dude, I don't know what these people do in their fucking free time.
There's probably the
Are you
lead scene where he's
serious?
just clicking through it. You know, it's like 20 minutes in.
I mean, just because he didn't do it in the movie doesn't mean he didn't do it. Maybe. It doesn't matter. The point is, when he opens up the thing and you see all the symbols, you know what the Flash's symbol is, you know what Wonder Woman's symbol is, maybe you know what Aquaman's symbol is. And Cyborg, I think a lot of people probably don't really know too much about Cyborg.
I didn't know anything
Right.
about Cyborg.
Wasn't that kind of cheesy that they had their symbols on there?
They already had symbols, yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, I kind of took my brain out of the film for a second when I saw.
Oh, you had to do that a couple times.
When I was gonna say, when I saw the WWE, I thought it was the WWE.
Just pull a chair out.
He opens it. It's just Stone Cold Steve Austin giving stunners to people. But
He's in the Justice League now.
yeah.
How would Stone Cold sound in the Justice League?
How would Stone Cold sound in the Justice League?
I tell you what, Darkseid, you want to come down here? I'm gonna whoop that candy ass. Oh hell yeah!
God, I hate wrestling.
I just feel like they shouldn't have even shown the videos of the characters doing stuff. If they just showed the symbols, you'd be like, oh shit, that's all the Justice League. What?
But that would be too subtle.
Also, that part.
Aquaman?
No, that was fine.
That was awkward.
It was very like L'Oreal because you're worth it commercial. Like comes out and he's got that like beautiful
or Ariel.
long hair.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're just like, I'm a little turned on right now. I don't know why. But
It's Jason Momoa.
Jason Momoa.
Wow, incredible. He's an incredible looking man.
So yeah, I suspect that part with the Flash doing the time paradox thing, that's going to lead to a part later in one of the Justice League movies where he has to go back and do something.
So that leads me to believe that this universe is the Injustice universe. For if you've ever played read Injustice: Gods Among Us, it makes me think that eventually what's going to happen is, now that Superman's dead, it would make even more sense that he comes back and he's different. Yeah. Right, he's in a coma or whatever, stupid bullshit. But I think that when he comes back, he's going to be different, and something's going to happen to Lois. And when Lois Lane dies, he is going to become a tyrant. And that's when the Flash comes back and tells Batman, oh, you have to... But then that turned out to be a fucking dream, too. Yeah. Not to mention, it seemed really strange that Batman was totally cool with this total stranger appearing from nowhere in his Batcave. He's just sitting there and he's just like, what? Who is this? I'd be like, what the f... You know what I mean? I'd be like freaking out, dude.
This is my safe place.
Throwing batarangs at him and stuff.
So in that dream sequence, was that Urza Miller? I don't know what he looks like.
That was him.
They showed him, but Grant Gustin is the Flash to me, and it just messes with my head seeing.
In the beginning, when Superman comes and he flies that dude through the wall, that guy's dead.
He's dead.
He's dead.
Oh yeah.
He's crushed. He could have burned the guy's hand with his heat vision, made him drop the gun. He could have literally used super speed to get behind him and take him down. But he literally was just like, I'm just gonna kill this guy, which is awesome because I would if I was Superman. But my point is like, I think that it's almost an alternate universe because then if you look at the relationship between Batman and Alfred, it doesn't feel like Alfred's just his butler.
I don't think Superman killed him.
I wonder if he moisturizes.
So the scene we're talking about, he picks up a guy and they go straight through a wall. Like he pretty much just like grabbed him. So he could have had his hand out.
It's an accurate depiction too.
This is exactly what happened. I'm Zack Snyder. This is him.
I feel like I'm watching the movie right now.
Here's Zack Snyder explaining to Henry Cavill what's going on. So you're gonna grab your man like that. You can get really close, but you're gonna have your fist out and you're gonna come in, blast through that wall. So
I think actually what it was, if I'm gonna it looked more like this.
Oh yeah,
like that.
So
and I just think he's dead. I think that he's dead.
Like his lower spine was just crushed.
I will say that there's room for doubt there. So maybe Superman didn't kill him. I think in the real world
maybe
he
he
would
didn't
have
kill
killed
Zod
him.
either.
What?
Maybe he didn't kill Zod either.
He definitely killed Zod. He very much killed Zod.
He gone.
Yeah, Zod's no longer a player.
So of course we have Doomsday in this, which we saw in the trailers. I think he was like 20 feet tall. Yeah. Because he like grabbed Superman.
Yeah, he was literally like.
But he was getting more powerful.
An action figure.
Yeah,
it's like he was absorbing the energy.
It should have been like maybe like that, but he was like
9 feet tall.
Even taller. I mean, he was like this.
Well, they have to have him menacing enough to take on 3 Justice League members.
Right. Yeah. I mean, obviously, if you know
fucking
anything,
Jimmy McGill there taking him down.
They shot him with the nuke. He came down,
and he was more powerful.
Yeah, and that's why he evolved.
With the
with the
spikes.
When his skin came off and stuff. That shit was so cool. I think personally that as a complete expert on film and cinematography as I am, I think that what they should have done is this movie should have just been straight up Man of Steel 2, and it should have been him and Lex Luthor, and Lex Luthor's Lex Luthor's Jr. Developing the hatred for Superman from something, because it seemed like it was just pulled out of thin air in this movie. Yeah. He was just like, I just don't like him.
Yeah, I'm so confused on why he was.
Yeah, like I know he's like in the comics.
Something about his dad, maybe.
Yeah. I don't know, something. I mean, he talked about how his dad used to, or lived in East Germany, and was like, had to bow to tyrants or whatever. I need a manual to operate a freaking toaster oven, and he walks into this spaceship, and he's like, I want to make an abomination. Here we go. I'm just gonna cut my hand.
Actually, that's a perfect explanation of. That's what Doomsday seemed like to me, was Abomination from The Incredible Hulk. That's not a plot hole because. He does. I feel like with Jesse Eisenberg and that character, they did try to cover as many plot holes as they could by things he said. So, I mean, he does go in there, and obviously Krypton was incredibly more advanced than they were, and they actually cover him getting that information. So, I mean, they did cover that, and there was another thing that I felt like could have been a plot hole, and they covered very well, was Superman can just obviously take care of Lex Luthor anytime he wanted, but the way he...
When he kidnapped his mom.
Yeah, and he's just I don't know where she is. Like
that too.
There were some good nods to the comics, like the nuclear bomb going off and Superman
Yeah,
just
he's
being like the
drained.
decrepit face, and it looks just like Dark Knight Returns.
Yes.
I love that. I thought that was great.
Would you guys rather have seen My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2, which also came out this weekend?
No.
No.
I did see the original in theaters, though.
Ah.
I've never seen the original, so I have nothing to base it off of. I'm sure it's very funny. Okay.
Sure, it's great if that's.
If you have the chance to see it, go see it. 3 things I liked. Any fight scene with Batman was phenomenal. So if they keep that, if they keep that in the solo movie, like it's gonna be great. I liked a lot of the shots were really cool. It was very like it was almost borderline like art film. If you're gonna go see it for any reason, make it about the fights. But be aware you're gonna wait probably about an hour 15 before stuff starts to happen. But once it starts to happen, the fights are just they're really well done. I'm gonna give it see it Tuesday matinee, something like that. It's definitely. I mean, you could even wait to see it for the crowds to clear out.
So my rating is see it in IMAX 3D because it is a spectacle. It is amazing to watch on the big screen in 3D. I'm not saying it's an A or an A+. I'd say it's more like a B, B-. I do feel like you would be missing out if you didn't see it on the big screen if you can. I wouldn't be in a rush to see it. You didn't get the whole crowd moments where it feels great being with, like seeing Star Wars or something like that, where the crowd is part of the energy. I didn't get that in the theater. People next to me were actually incredibly annoying, but I would say see it in IMAX 3D if you can, when you can. 3 positive things I do have to say about it. Ben Affleck is Batman and as Bruce Wayne. That goes without saying. He was amazing, menacing, crazy, flawed, complex. Secondly, I'd say the music was great.
Oh yeah, the soundtrack.
I felt a lot from that. And full disclosure, I did listen to the soundtrack about 2 or 3 times through before I saw the movie because they put it on Spotify. So I did listen to that quite a bit. So that might have helped with the familiarity of knowing the music, feeling the impacts from it. Third is how they go back to the end of Man of Steel and play through everything, but from the street view, not knowing what's happening, complete confusion. I thought that was really well done, and it did show where Batman was coming from, where Bruce Wayne was coming from his view and what he saw. Just a total destruction. He doesn't know what's going on, that it's actually justified or, any of the plot of Man of Steel.
IMAX?
Full price IMAX 3D, but you don't have to rush to see it.
Okay.
Not saying I loved it, but I liked it.
I actually had, at least for a lot of it, I had a smile ear to ear for a lot of it. There were some parts where I was like, especially like where they're trying to force the Justice League part. That's where the one thing I thought was really forced, but most of it was smile ear to ear. It kind of reminded me of scenes of like Cloverfield, which, the street level, what is going on. That was very well done. And I really appreciated what Zack Snyder was trying to do, just from the perspective of he knows what's going on with Marvel, and like this is a completely different take on how to do a comic movie, and that's probably the one thing I was like I appreciated the most was the visuals and the way he told it. Pacing was a little bit slow, and then of course how the take on Batman was, I think, beautiful. So I too will say full price in IMAX, just so you can see everything. We were right in the middle of it. It was gorgeous.
It was a good location.
It was a beautiful thing because I think if you're gonna pay money to see something in IMAX, it better be something that's worth it. And I think visually, that alone would be worth it on IMAX.
So we got 2 full price and then 1 I look like a big asshole.
No.
Oh yeah, there's no negative.
You like it
in that
too?
movie.
I also like it. We are friends.
Did we just become best friends? Did anyone notice that Batman was turning into James Bond for a little bit there? Driving his Aston Martin?
I did, yeah. I was like,
yeah.
is it an Aston Martin?
Yeah, I'm like, that's not a Lamborghini.
I wonder if Batman can take shots to the nuts.
I wonder if he's castrated. Then he wouldn't feel it.
No weakness.
All right, we want to thank our guest, Tom O'Neill, for coming and joining us on a review of Batman v Superman on the first episode of Paper Routes by the Luddite Millennials. There's going to be plenty to come. Please subscribe so you can see the growing collection of our action figures here. So thanks again for watching. We'll see you again.
done, dude. I'm not playing this
Jesus.
bullshit